All right, let's dive into one of Python's most fundamental, most essential tools, the list. Seriously, if you've ever needed to group a bunch of things together in your code, like a list of players in a game, a set of high scores, or even just your grocery list, then you are in exactly the right place. This is where it all starts.
So let's think about the problem for a second. Imagine you're writing some code. You don't have just one piece of data, right? You've got dozens, maybe hundreds of things to keep track of. How do you manage all of that without just creating a tangled mess of variables? It's a real challenge.
You know, the easiest way to wrap your head around this is to think about something you already use all the time, a shopping list. It's just one list, but it holds all the different items you need to buy. Well, it turns out Python has the perfect digital version of that very idea.
Okay, so before we start making our own lists, we need to know the ground rules. Think of these as the core identity of a Python list. A few simple but super important characteristics that define exactly what a list is and how it behaves.
So, if we're going to get formal for just a moment, here's the textbook definition. A Python list is a built-in data structure used to store an ordered collection of items. Now, the two words you really want to lock onto there are ordered and collection. That's the heart of it.
Let's break those ideas down into 4 simple rules. First, they're ordered. That just means if you put milk first on your list, it stays first. Simple. Second, they're mutable. This is a big one. It means you can change the list after you've made it. You can add items, remove them, swap them out. Super flexible. Third, they're heterogeneous. That's a fancy word that just means you can mix and match different types of data. You can have texts, numbers, whatever, all on the same list. And finally, lists allow duplicates. Need 2 cartons of milk? No problem, you can put milk on the list twice.
All right, theory time is over. Let's actually see this in action. It's time to create our very first digital shopping list in Python.
Now here's the one thing you absolutely have to remember. The secret symbol for a list in Python is square brackets. From now on, whenever you see those square brackets, your brain should just scream, list. And look how easy it is to start. To make a brand new empty list, you just type a pair of square brackets. That's it. It's like having an empty piece of paper, just waiting for you to write your shopping list on it.
Of course, most of the time, you'll want to put stuff in it right away. Here's a list of numbers. See? Just the numbers you want. Inside the square brackets, separated by commas. It's clean, it's simple, it's super easy to read.
And remember that fancy heterogeneous rule we just talked about? Well, here it is in action. This list has a piece of text, a string, a number, and a true-false value, a boolean, all living together in the same list. That's the kind of flexibility that makes lists so incredibly useful.
Okay, so we know how to create a list. Now for the fun part. What can we actually do with it? Let's open up the toolbox and look at the basic operations for managing everything inside our list.
Probably the most common thing you'll do is grab a specific item from the list. You do that using its position, which we call its index. Now listen up, because this is absolutely critical. In Python and many other languages, we start counting from 0. So the very first item is at index 0, the second item is at index 1, and so on. Getting that down is a total game changer.
And here's where that mutable rule really shines. Because we can change the list, we can just pick an item by its index and replace it with something else. Here, we're targeting index 1, our banana, and swapping it out for orange. The list changes right then and there.
So, what about adding new things to our list? Well, you've got 2 main ways to do it. If you just want to tack something on to the very end, you use .append, super common. But if you need to be more precise and put an item at a specific spot, you use .insert. Now, for getting rid of items, Python gives you a few options, depending on what you know. If you know the value of the item you want to delete, like you want to remove banana, you use .remove. But if you know the item's position, its index, you can use either .pop or the del keyword. They get the same job done, just slightly different ways of doing it. Okay, let's talk about one of the most powerful features of lists, something you are going to use all the time, slicing. Slicing is amazing because it lets you grab a whole chunk of a list, a subsection, all in one go. The way you do it is with square brackets, but this time you put a colon inside. You give it a start index and an end index, and Python hands you back a brand new list with all the items that were in that range. Let's look at a quick example to see how it works. We've got this list of numbers, right? Now we're asking for a slice that goes from index 1 up to index 4. So what do you think we're going to get? And here's our result. A new list with 20, 30, and 40. Now pay attention to how this worked.
The slice includes the item at the start index, index 1, which is 20. But it goes up to, but does not include, the item at the end index. So it grabs indices 1, 2, and 3, and then it stops right before it gets to index 4. That's a key detail to remember.
And really, that's the core of it. From its basic rules to all the ways you can add, remove, and access items, the Python list is your go-to, all-purpose, incredibly versatile tool for organizing data.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Now that you have this awesome tool in your programming toolkit, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to build a to-do list, track the inventory for a game, keep a list of your favorite books? The possibilities are literally endless, so what will you organize first?